I am proof of this corruption. When Charlotte County, Florida sheriff found out I knew about the Sunshine Law and I got records where they were talking shit about me. They went off the grid saying personal emails and phones etc. They are corrupt to the core and need to be defunded. Period. Local governments. Address texting policies. By Jonathan Shoyes. Staff writer. Texting has easily surpassed email as the most widely used form of digital communication. And as more government officials take to texting to conduct business, municipalities have been forced to adopt policies, adhere to strict archiving protocols and conduct Sunshine Law training to ensure employees understand public records laws. Texts sent or received on personal or government-owned cell phones by public officials discussing official business are public record, according to Florida law. Regardless if it's a public or personal phone, the problem is those texts don't go through the same server as emails, said Barbara Peterson, president of First Amendment Foundation, an open government watchdog group. It's incumbent upon them, officials, to retain all texts and provide access to them, Peterson added. A person can be held liable for not producing text messages on a personal phone through a public records request. Of course, we want our public officials to be as efficient as possible, but they have to understand the implications of the law, Peterson said. A common problem, Peterson said, is council members texting official business while not in session. Oftentimes, it's an innocent slip-up. Although, more sinister cover-ups have transpired in which government officials use text as a backdoor channel for discrete transactions. Tallahassee City Manager Rick Fernandez was suspended Monday pending the outcome of a state ethics commission investigation for allegedly accepting $2,000 in Florida State University football tickets from a lobbyist in 2016, according to the Tallahassee Democrat. Text messages obtained by the paper via a public records request indicate Fernandez asked for the tickets, then later denied it. They don't communicate with each other in writing because they want to avoid the law, Peterson said of cover-ups. But if they're texting, we can get them. Texts. A year ago, Governor Rick Scott settled an unprecedented public records lawsuit, agreeing to pay attorney Steve Andrews $700,000 of taxpayer money over the governor's use of a personal email account for public business. Scott's office has been embroiled in public records scandals over the years, including its use of text and email. And in 2012, Orange County officials reportedly erased texts relating to a ballot initiative mandating private employers provide sick time to employees. That controversy, dubbed TextGate, led to Orange County using text capturing technology called TextGuard, which costs up to $130,000 a year. Closer to home, the city of Venice prohibits all forms of texting except during emergencies, but some employees reportedly violated the policy. The city has since adopted a new system and is installing software that will block texting but also preserve any texts that are sent by city employees. The following is a brief look at local governments and how each addresses texting procedures. Punta Gorda. Nearly a decade ago, the city implemented a policy addressing computer, internet, and email usage. Text messaging is seldom addressed in the document as it wasn't a primary mode of communication in 2008. While that policy provides an overarching guide, individual departments have their own internal practices for handling text messages on personal and government-owned cell phones, Macaulay Finkel, an executive assistant in the city manager's office, said. Typically, department heads, supervisors and IT staff are the only city employees issued cell phones. City council members each use their personal mobile devices. The city does not archive texts, meaning employees would have to do that themselves, either emailing messages to themselves or printing out a hard copy. The city does not have the ability to archive, Finkel said. Some may choose to use their personal phones, but it's the city's wish that they don't use text messages. While Punta Gorda has never been in hot water over text messaging, email is still the preferred method of communication for city employees for all transitory, non-formal, and untransitory, official or policy, messages. Finkel said all city council members and executive staff receive Sunshine Law training, but more employees will be trained in public records law later this year. PUNTA GORDA does have a policy aimed at reducing distracting driving, prohibiting city employees from texting while driving. If a city employee needs to use a wireless voice/data communications device while he/she is operating a city vehicle, or operating any vehicle during the conduct of city business, they must pull over to the side of the road in a safe manner to use the device, the 2011 policy states. Charlotte County. In comparison to PUNTA GORDA, Charlotte County took a stricter approach in addressing how its employees and public officials text, choosing to outright ban the practice. In a records management plan adopted 2 years ago, the county moved to prohibit texting official business with members' personal or government-issued phones. The policy mandates that emails sent from mobile devices must be from a county email account, not a personal email server, including Gmail or Hotmail. It also specifically states that text messaging may be used for transitory communication only and shall be destroyed or deleted after acknowledged. Similar to PUNTA GORDA, and with a text ban in place, Charlotte County doesn't archive text messages. The only time a text would get archived would be if an employee had to send a text and took a screenshot of the text and forwarded it to themselves through county email, County Attorney Jeanette Knowlton said, noting she's unaware of any public records requests specifically for texts. County commissioners, as well as select employees, are issued cell phones. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office supplies phones to sworn members and some civilian employees, and policy states that all texting related to official business must be conducted on an agency-issued phone, according to spokesperson Katie Heck. The department does archive texts. Depending on the type of case, it would range from 5 to 7 years and up to 100 years, she said. Northport. While the city currently bans text messaging, staff is working to not only allow it, but archive it by next year. According to Aaron Bryce, communications coordinator for General Services, the city supplies 419 phones to employees, 231 iPhones and 188 flip phones. The ban on texting was implemented in 2013 and prohibits texting, PIN messaging, and instant messaging on all city cell phones. It applies to city staffers and city officials. But next year, staffers are hoping to implement programs that will capture the messages. The City Commission approved $35,340 per year to capture text messages for fiscal year 2018. They will try and implement an AirWatch program, which restricts messaging from iPhones. SMART will archive text messages. The new policy and the archiving software will be in place around the beginning of 2018, according to Bryce. The new software will allow for text archiving, she said. The length of time that the text messages will be archived will be in line with the requirements of the Florida public record retention laws. Right now, staffers are coached individually about the mobile device policy along with Sunshine Law. Northport Police Department has a different policy, which is to text only for emergency purposes. In order to comply with multiple state laws, however, the sender of the text is required to screenshot the message and retain it. Sarasota County. While Sarasota County supplies cell phones to the county commissioners and many of its employees, texting about county business is strictly prohibited, according to the county's administrative directive on cellular telephone policies. That directive was promulgated in 2012 and updated in 2015, and specifies which employees are eligible to receive either a cell phone or a stipend for individuals who need a cell phone to conduct county business. The rationale behind the prohibition on texting about county business, according to the directive, is that it doesn't comply with state retention requirements for public records. Referring to the policy directive, county spokesperson Jason Bartolone wrote in an email that the county does not keep or retain records relating to employees or commissioners' texts about county business since it is prohibited. The county does not discuss any employee issues with regard to any violations of the policy. That policy is part of the orientation both new employees and new commissioners receive when they begin their service with the county. Since the beginning of 2017, the county has received 5 public records requests that included requests for text messages, Bartolone wrote. According to the county's policy on public records requests, all costs, if there are any, are paid by the requesting party. Staff writer Lauren Coffey and Sun correspondent Warren Richardson contributed to this story.
Into law enforcement nowadays. And it's a nationwide trend. I've talked to sheriffs and police chiefs not only in the state but around the nation, and they're having problems hiring. We got a couple things working against us. Number one is when the economy is turning around, when it's doing well, a lot of people will go into the private sector because yes, you can make more money up front. And then secondly, everybody knows the anti-law enforcement sentiment that's been going on. So a lot of people aren't rushing into this profession. So we have that growth that we're trying to really... Yes?
Yes, I have 2 questions. Do you believe in free speech and the Constitution on your government-ran Facebook page?
Mr. Sheets, you know why you were banned. We have rules. You did not follow the rules.
All right.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I have an easy question. In Florida, can a consumer buy Narcan at a pharmacy? I know in other parts of the country they've allowed...
I don't think you can yet in Florida, but I believe, if I remember correctly, there is a bill up in Tallahassee right now. So they're trying to get it passed.
Thank you.
So, yes?
Sheriff, why was this citizen banned from your Facebook website? What's that all about?
He didn't follow the rules.
What rules did he break?
They're posted on our Facebook page. You're more than welcome to read it.
You wouldn't be able to
Anybody
share
else?
With us? You wouldn't be able to share with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, my question was not...
I'm talking to her. Yes, ma'am.
I asked you a question. You work for me, sir.
I don't work for you. Ma'am.
Yes, you do. Why did you ban this citizen?
Ma'am, what's your question?
You can't answer the question, Sheriff?
I think it's been asked and answered.
Why is it, your department is supposed to be keeping the peace, taking care of whatever. It doesn't seem right to me that you also have to take care of those who are mentally ill and those who are drug addicts. Why don't they open up a facility? I mean, you're going to have to hire more staff, and where are you going to put all these people? You said 60% between the...
Yeah,
that doesn't make
that's
sense.
what I'm telling you. That's been the question. Like I said, when the government can't seem to come up with answers, they push it off on us, and then it's up to us to try and figure it out.
Well, that's not right.
Yes, sir.
I noticed this past year, I haven't seen much in the paper about grow houses, as far as finding grow houses and shutting them down. Is that still a problem?
It's decreased a lot, and that's basically because some of the legalization that's been going on in other states. We are seeing a lot of it being imported from these other states. Right now, you know who your biggest trafficker is in drugs? The United States Postal Service.
Just a follow-up question. What about meth? How do you find meth operations?
Just a lot of good investigation. We get some tip work and all that stuff. So.
Especially for building it.
Yeah, they are very explosive. You got to be very careful with them. We do have some people on our staff that are specially trained to take them apart because they are very, very explosive. Ma'am, you had a question?
Oh yeah, to follow up on this immigration situation. If a Hispanic person were in an accident,
Can you speak just a little louder, please? We can really hear
if a
you.
Hispanic person, appearing person, were in an accident, it was clearly not their fault. Are you telling me that there would be no reason then that you would contact ICE?
No, I don't. We don't.
You don't what?
We don't contact ICE on that.
I'll talk to you after.
Okay. Because remember, right now, we don't have the, it's the federal government's responsibility, and also they have jurisdiction over immigration. We as local law enforcement do not. So when we take somebody in on a local crime, local charges, we have custody of them and we will notify ICE. But yeah, I'll talk to you afterwards because I don't know what you're talking about.
Sheriff, I'd like to ask you another question.
No, sir. Anybody else?
My family and members of this crowd have went to war defending freedom and the right to
And I thank you for your service. Yes,
We'd
ma'am.
like you to answer the question.
My husband and I are snowbirds, and we're down here 6, 7, 8 months. We love it here, and we're very grateful to have a police station right in Inglewood now. Anyway, we're over in Rotunda, on Rotunda Circle, and we noticed last year, I think the speed limits were like 30. And now we came back this year, and I can't remember. Just when they were changed to 35, so now it's 35.
Yeah, that is up to the county. They set the speed limits. We don't. They usually come out and they have their engineers do studies with traffic and speed, and then they determine the proper speed. Because I also notice on Boundary they lowered the speed limit.
To 30.
Yes, that used to be 45.
Over on Candy Road, not too close. And I noticed at this point, that same thing, it's 30 miles an hour there, but I wondered why it was 30 there and 35 on our side, but if you don't have anything to do with it.
No, I don't have anything to do with that. We don't set it, we just enforce it.
How do we do as citizens in our
You can reach out to your county commissioner. I don't know if you guys ever have Bill speak to you guys? Yeah, Bill Truex will come and speak to your group, but you can reach out to him individually, or you can invite him to one of these sessions like he did me and ask him to kind of give you an overview of the county and also voice your concerns. But either way, you can contact his office or
because our road is so narrow, and there are no
there's no sidewalks over there.
There's no place to walk. We do walk on the roads, but I mean we have to get off sometimes and let the traffic pass and so on.
So I never noticed they raised Rotunda Circle to 35 from 30.
They go 50 and 60 through there.
All the other it's very dangerous.
Well, I know we've been getting a lot of complaints of speeders over there, and I know Chris has been having his staff out there as much as we can. That's one of the biggest complaints we get countywide is regard to traffic. So,
Who's correct?
I'm sorry, Lieutenant Williams.
Oh, because Rotunda West, I mean, this has been going on for years. We'll advise you to call the police. So I don't think Truex is involved at all. I mean, give you a story.
Let's find out.
He's not going to.
Well, when it comes to setting the speed limits, that is the county function. I have nothing to do with that. Now, I can make some recommendations to them, but they are going to do their studies and side with what their engineer
No,
says.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we are advised to call the police.
They're speeders, yes.
Well, yeah, with the speeders, you're absolutely right. That's what they're going to say, because that's what we do. We have to enforce that. So, yeah. No, and he will tell you that. Anybody else?
You have a question in the back. What are you afraid of, Sheriff? Why can't you answer all citizens?
All I'm going to ask is about intelligence of policing, that's all.
Here's the venue. American Legion Hall, people died and bled for free speech, and he's trying to restrict
Correct.
it. Please, wake up,
He
people.
answered the question.
It-
I didn't like his answer.
No, he works for us. He is supposed to answer all questions.
I'm asking about intelligence policing. What are you using for software and hardware?
Yeah, why don't you be civil, Sheriff, and answer the question? Why did you ban a citizen?
Drop it.
What are you afraid of, Sheriff?
Follow the directions, I'll say
Who's
it.
got your tongue?
Intelligence policing. What are you using for software and hardware? That's all I'm asking.
We've got a lot of different
No, I'm
programs.
having it right here in this public meeting.
That's all I'm asking.
Try to force me
That's
out.
all I'm asking.
This is rude. You and he together is rude.
Yeah, and you're all on video.
This is supposed to be
denying
America.
Free speech. So sue me.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it.
We thank you. I'm Al Bickel, President of Neighborhood Watch. I appreciate you all coming. I'm sure that some of you might have some additional questions. The sheriff might be around for a few minutes afterwards, but there are some refreshments in the back, and stay around and enjoy the refreshments, and thank you all for coming.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. American media. Please do.
I'm not going to tell you.
No free speech. The agenda is free speech. Transparency in government. If a government official won't answer a question, why they banned a citizen, something's wrong. You have a definite agenda. You bet it's free speech.
That's not it.
Freedom.
That is not it.
Freedom. Have you ever heard of freedom?
I understand freedom. What's the freedom about?
This gentleman over here has been banned from posting on the Facebook page of Charlotte County Government Sheriff's Department.
Is he in violation of the rules?
I wanted to know. The sheriff refused to answer.
It's
not about that was the question. Well, why wouldn't he answer the question? What's so difficult about the question?
What did you do on Facebook? What's the agenda? What is the problem?
We're in American Legion Hall. These men have died and bled for free speech.
I mean,
you people trampled on.
Did you even serve? You don't look like a couple of Germans. There's nothing better to do with their time.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done... Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
wow.
been on a bike before,
Sheriff's getting a little too pushy. You work for us, Sheriff. Just keep that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head, help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.